Robert Theriot. His parents, Tara and Jeff. JT Burke, parents Ellen and Jim, and Nana Judy. Jack Francis Kelly, parents Jen and Mark. Sean Morris, parents Karen and Ken. Nico Tedescucci, parents Kim and Mike. Last but not least, Chad Burse, parents Mark and Sandy. And there we go. There's our 10 seniors this year's 2018 Foxborough Warrior varsity baseball team. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Foxborough High School Warrior Baseball. Today's contest pits the Warriors against the Mansfield Hornets, last game of the regular season for Foxborough. This is Doug Seuss, joined alongside with Mark Burse. Mark was kind enough to invite me to do this today.
Yeah, I said to myself, boy, what a great deal it would be for Dougie down here to watch his son manage in his first year. And love to have you here, Doug.
Oh, thank you.
Love talking baseball with you. And basically what you guys are going to get is two guys that love baseball sitting here talking baseball for about 2 hours.
Yeah, those of you that know I do a lot of the football games. Football is truly a passion, but baseball's right there too. And added interest, as Mark said, with my son Derek, first year as the Foxborough head coach. Assistant coach Daryl Giannetti, both former players of mine, as is Mark. When I started coaching 40 years ago, Mark was one of my players. Very good ball player, as is his son Chad.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, Doug.
It was.
I learned a lot of the baseball game from Doug Seuss.
Yeah.
And so today, we do have a really good situation today, as Dougie knows because he was here yesterday. We're coming in on a real high. Foxborough's plays a tough schedule, and it has struggled in a couple games this year against some teams that are just, quite frankly, better programs at this time, and Division I and Division II teams. And we're the only Division III team in the Hawk, and we went out yesterday and we beat Coyle Cassidy 8-2 in a complete team effort. And we're just hoping that this carries over today against a very tough Mansfield team who, if they win today and tomorrow, this probably won't mean a lot to the people out there, but they have a Super 8 tournament in baseball now, much like hockey. And this Super 8 tournament started 4 years ago, and Mansfield will be in that if they win these 2 games. Yeah. So we're in for a great afternoon of watching some great ball.
Yeah, Foxborough, as you mentioned, Mark, with that win yesterday, they qualify under the Sullivan rule. I'm not a big fan of the Sullivan rule, but the opportunity for some of these kids to get a chance to play in a tournament, and you never know what's going to happen. But yesterday's win, Coyle actually is a very good team, and Coyle had beaten us earlier in the year.
And a good program.
And a good program. So we're going to get started right now.
So we got Devin Hassett on the mound pitching. He was our star quarterback. Flat out a great athlete. Didn't play ball for a couple of years, came back and joined us this year, and he's a competitor and an athlete, and he'll go at it as long as he can today. Good fastball, and will also come with a curve, keeping him off balance. And we'll just get as many innings as we can out of him, because it's a tough spot to get a lot of innings out of him. He hasn't pitched a lot.
That ball's fouled off, so Devin's already ahead in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The batter for Mansfield is Daniel Saracino, and really good ball player. He's a junior.
Yeah, I'll try my best not to talk a lot about Mansfield today, but I know a lot about him. My son played on a club team, and he played with probably 8 of these guys. And they are very good baseball players, and Dan Saracino being one of them.
Ball's a little high there. Home plate umpire, Danny Reese. 3-2, we get a full count. Danny, I umpire high school baseball, and Danny and I have worked games together, so we're going to get a quality effort out of our home plate umpire today. And Devin loses that one there.
Well, that's the one thing Derek. Dev does struggle with, is missing high. Nowhere but high, and he needs to make an adjustment, and he'll be fine.
Up now for Mansfield, Sam Nugent. He's going to be pitching today. No, actually, he's playing center field. I'm sorry. He's in center field today, number 1.
Another real good ball player. He's led off the whole year. They just switched these 2 yesterday, and looks like I'm not really sure about why they did it, but Sam is the ultimate leadoff hitter, and that's a great place for him.
We got 1 ball, 1 strike here. It's the count. We're going to get a pop-up on the right side. McLaughlin is going to chase after that, and he pulls it in. Nice little grab. There's a lot of room in the foul territory here at the high school field.
Yeah, that's a nice job by Steve. Steve doesn't play first normally. He's an ace pitcher who pitched yesterday and pitched well. And looks like we need him to give us some innings at first today. So nice job. Up now we have Kevin Dow. This is a UMass Amherst Division I commit next year to pitch.
We're going to double play ball possibly here. No, they did call it wrong. That's a bang play, but we turned a double play there. So Devin Hassett gets out of minor trouble here in the first inning, and the Warriors come in to bat.
Isn't that funny, Doug? We were talking before about the high that Fox was on, and it looks like they've decided to continue it a little bit here at the very beginning.
Yeah, actually, if you look at the season, they've struggled, as you mentioned, Mark. They've won 3 out of their last 4 games, and the 1 loss against a very good North Attleboro team.
Yes.
Who also has a lot of college prospects playing for them right now.
Right.
Yeah. And an old friend of ours, Gary Warren, his son's on the team.
Yep, second base.
Second base. So we have some ties with North Attleboro in that sense. Mark and I do. But as you mentioned, the Hawk is really tough, and when they expanded a couple years ago and added like Taunton, for example. Taunton is always traditionally strong in baseball. Attleboro, another well-coached team. Matt Bosch over there in Attleboro. So it didn't help do us any favors. More so, it did more harm to the girls' softball program because
they brought in Milford
Taunton,
yeah, and Taunton.
Right?
Are you kidding me?
Not what the softball program needed to see, but Foxborough continues to struggle with numbers, and this town, other than football, is really become a lacrosse town. And lacrosse program obviously is very successful, boys and girls, and a youth program, but they've taken athletes away from baseball. And,
Yeah, they have. Yep.
And I think that's where the difference is. Mark, you mentioned earlier some of these kids haven't played in a few years, like Devin Hassett and Joe Freitas, I believe.
Matt
Rongione. These are kids that, when they played freshman year, pretty good ball players,
Well,
pretty good team,
it's a funny story. That 13-year-old age group that those guys are all in, they won the Hockomock League when they were 13 years old. And that whole team intact was very talented. But a bunch of them decided, they didn't want to play baseball for a while, or maybe did go to lacrosse, but
whatever it was.
whatever.
But they're back, and we're going to see. I believe this is Freitas.
This is Joe Freitas, our leadoff hitter all year, coming off two triples and 3 hits yesterday. Great game.
He had a really good game.
And we're seeing a sophomore pitching today. His name's John Carney. Again, not to talk about Mansfield all day, but they have 5 deep in pitches, all about the same level of pitches. It's amazing. Anybody that knows the baseball in the Northeast, you gotta have pitching, and they go 5 deep. This kid's a sophomore, already being looked at by D1 schools all over the place.
So Freitas is down in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
There's the curve.
All right. Good eye there. Evens the count of 2. And he goes down swinging.
He just overpowered him. And that's probably mid-80s from a sophomore. That's pretty impressive. So we're going to have to do what we did yesterday, which is just put the ball in play. It's going to be really hard to drive that ball.
And up now is JT Burke. He's a little late with that swing. JT in recent games has actually been on a little bit of a tear. Hits the ball very well to the right side, which makes him a very good hit and run batter, according to Derek Seuss. So if Freitas gets on, it's nice to have someone like JT that can move that runner along.
And JT also had a big hit yesterday in the Coyle game. Hoping he can keep that going. What we're noticing right away with this pitcher is he is knee-high all the time. Very good pitching. Ooh, that would have been nice if it hit the bag. But that's that right field hit that this is where he lives, which is pretty good for a 2-hitter.
So the count is 2-2.
Beautiful day for ball.
Fouls another one off.
So what he's setting him up for now is the curveball, and you will probably see it now. And let's hope JT can shoot it to right.
He went low with the fastball, looked like. So we get a full count. You're right, Mark. He hasn't thrown a ball above the waist yet.
Yeah, lives low. There's another one.
JT gets his bat on it, but nice high hop to the second baseman there. Kevin Dow. I'm reading the numbers versus the positions. That's Chris Jenkins, the second baseman, pulled that in. So 2 down for the Warriors.
We got Robert Terrill batting third today. This is senior day, so all seniors are starting. Very nice gesture by Coach Seuss. Class act. Robert is our catcher, and nobody works harder than Robert. Senior captain, very good captain. We're loaded with 4 real good captains that are just real good leaders. They worked real hard in the off-season together as a group. Really good bunch of kids.
Robert actually played well last night in this game. There's a little shot in the short right center field. That's going to fall for a hit.
So that's the curveball that he just took to right. That's a nice job of hitting.
Pitch.
Yep.
But Robert blocked a lot of pitches in the dirt yesterday, and a lot of times with guys on base, which was key, especially when the game was tight early.
Yep, and games can be won and lost there,
Absolutely, especially here where you got the deep backstop.
Yes.
So up now we get Chad Burst and that in the cleanup spot. Good cut.
Power versus power there. Chad will get his money's worth.
Move over to first base. Gurriel's back okay.
Keeping Robert honest, although he's probably not going. Oh, he hurt his shoulder.
Yeah, not good.
No.
Yeah, he's in pain.
That doesn't look good. He's a tough kid too. So I can only hope that that's a bruise from a ball he blocked yesterday that's just aggravated the bruise, because if that's like a separation.
You know, it's his throwing arm. And he dove back into that bag. Who knows? You know, maybe he might have jammed it.
His mother did tell me he got hit with a ball yesterday, and it actually opened up his skin on his shoulder. So
Wow.
let's just hope that's where it's hurt, because he can play through that. Derek going out to check on his player, and he's okay with what he heard. We don't need that going into the tournament.
No. Although I've heard good things about our backup catcher. I mean, he's the future.
Yep.
But Robert being, like you said, the captain, a leader, you want him there. So we have one strike in the count, 2 outs here. And there's another strike. Right at the
Another
knees.
nice pitch. Yeah. He's really bringing the velocity right now.
We're in a 0-0 ball game, bottom of the first inning here at Foxborough High School. First one up and above.
That might have been a purpose pitch up there.
1-2 is the count. Gurriel with a little bit of a lead over there, not much.
Ooh.
Almost had him leaning though.
How smart is that thing? Make him
Yeah.
have to dive back on that again.
Really.
You know.
We were aggressive in yesterday's game. Had quite a few steals. Only had 1 runner caught stealing. Robert takes another step. Strike 3. Must hit the outside corner there. So Foxborough goes down, straining a runner at first base. We get to the top of the second inning, and we're in a scoreless tie here at Foxborough High School field. I want to thank Cable 8 though for broadcasting this today.
Yes.
You know, these volunteers at Cable 8, I've said it before during football season, phenomenal people to work with. They cover more than sports, and that's the thing. You know, school concerts, theater plays, you know, town government type of things, top-notch programming, and a lot of good volunteers and stuff. So.
Yep, and we were here at 1 o'clock today setting up for this. I mean, there's something, you have to put something into it to get it set up.
Yeah.
It's like you say, Doug, it's all volunteer.
Yeah. And I will tell you, we've gone to other towns in the past and, you know, done road broadcasts, especially during tournament time, let's say. You know, certainly like the recent run with the girls basketball team to the state championship. Cable was there out the whole way. We saw him during basketball season, your son Chad being one of the announcers. But, you know, other towns comment on the quality of the product.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, right from the clarity of the pictures, the camera angles, you know, the announcers sometimes actually know what's going on and can keep people informed. And altogether, it's a pretty good deal. So, if anybody has interest out there at home, you want to get involved, check into the studio up on Central Street. Especially young people. There's a lot of young people to get involved, working cameras and stuff like that. In today's day and age, that's where it's all at.
Yep. So now we're going to go with, after a 1-2-3 first, we got a Tyler Dalton coming up. May surprise you, but this is another UMass Division I commit next year to pitch for Amherst. And that's deep ball to left field, and Morris is going back.
It's over his head.
Turned him the wrong way and over his head.
Yeah, it's going to end up being a triple here.
Stand-up triple. So he sat on fastball down the middle from Devon and shot it to left field, and tough play in left. And
yeah, that's similar to right fielder fielding a ball off a right-handed batter's bat. The spin comes at you a little differently. As you said, Sean just looked like he had turned around the wrong way there. That's fouled off to the right side. McLaughlin's going to give it a chase.
Steve. Great hustle.
Wasn't that far off on it.
No.
I didn't think that was going to stay in the field, but good hustle by Stevie McLaughlin.
Great effort. This is Justin Pena, their number 5 hitter. He's DHing today. So Foxborough has their infield in early in the game, trying to keep Mansfield from getting ahead.
Hassett takes a look.
Oh, that's a good curve.
This ball gets, it's by Robert. That was a curveball in the dirt. It looked like he went 5-hole on Theriot out there, and the runner scores from third, so Mansfield is on the board.
All right, we start fresh now. Nobody on. Let's get the 3 outs and go
2
ahead.
balls and 1 strike is the count.
Oh boy,
And that's a gapper.
that's a ball.
It's off the fence. He's going to be held to a double. Throws in quickly. Rongione.
You're starting to see a little bit of some of these Mansfield guys that can hit.
Yeah, that was a rope.
That's a rope, yep. Now you got Cullen Anastasia. He's their catcher. Last year we actually played Mansfield over in Mansfield. Steve McLaughlin pitched a great game against their ace, and it was a 1-0 final. And this kid hit a home run to win it out of Mansfield's park. So he's got a little bit of pop.
No outs here. Runner at second.
Oh, that's a nice curve.
Yep.
Devin pitches downhill pretty good, and that curveball is like a 12-6. It's a nice curve. Great pitch there, too.
He's ahead in the count. 0-2.
Robert does a good job of calling the pitches behind the plate. They pretty much let him call his own game, I'm pretty sure. You could tell because he doesn't look over to the coaches a lot.
And another rocket. We got a double play here.
Beautiful.
Nice play. Francis Kelly, right?
Yes. So right place, right time, line drive right to him, and he took it to second himself, unassisted.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Chris Jenkins now is up. He is the second baseman.
So 2 down for Mansfield. I will say, though, that they've hit Hassett hard this inning. I mean,
Yeah, they have.
there's another rope.
Yeah. But we want to keep this guy on first.
You were right about they are an aggressive, hard-hitting team. So hey, the double play helped right prior to that because that base hit is really of no harm at this point in time. You got a runner at first with 2 down.
And now we're down to the 8-hitter, and this is a guy, Kyle Moran, and he can. He's not an 8-hitter. I mean, this kid can hit.
Nice problem to have. Huh?
Yeah. I'm like, I just happened to look down to see who was up, and I'm like, Kyle Moran, 8th. Wow.
Well, somebody has to bat 8th. We're going to find a ball through the middle.
We kind of missed our cutoff there,
Yeah.
Joe, and now that allows another runner in scoring position. Really can't have that.
No, I mean, it's great if you throw that runner out at third and you end the inning, but right now, as you said, Mark, it allows the batter to slide into second base, so now you get 2 runners on in scoring position with 2 outs.
Well, you can go aggressively to third base with that throw, but that throw's got to go through the shortstop's chest.
Right.
So that the option is there for him to cut it to an out. And we got to get out now because that single now is 2 runs from Mike Hargadon. And I was just going to say...
well, Morris makes a nice play on that one, keeping the second runner at third base. But that is, again, another rope that's been hit this inning.
And Mike Hargadon, just we didn't get to talk to him. There's another kid that is not a 9-hitter, junior shortstop. It's just It's amazing. And now we flip the top with Dan Saracino. Dan actually played on a club team with Chad when he was 13 years old at Tufts University in a state final, and I saw it with my own eyes, hit a ball 367 feet, and it hit the sign out in right center field at Tufts University. Wow. 13 years old. He's got
nice
an
curveball,
unbelievable power.
Devin delivers high, so.
And when Dev gets going, into the pitch count a little bit, he does start missing a little high, and he'll make an adjustment and get it down.
We get a pop-up here. This is a big break. Runner at second base thought there was less than 2 outs. He went back to the bag.
That's good to get out of there. 2-0.
Yeah.
That's.
Well, with the help of the double play ball, for sure. I mean, Francis Kelly is not a very tall ball player. That ball's hit 2 more feet over his head. You got a gap shot.
Or either side.
Or either side of him, really. You're right. So he made a nice play on get the unassisted double play and limited the harm. So Mansfield scores 2, up 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Foxborough will be coming up with their number 5 batter.
And today we're not sure because of the senior lineup.
I'm guessing once they go through the lineup once, we're going to see substitutions here.
Looks like Deb Hassett's going to bat 5th today. A couple games for Foxborough this year that were good games. The very first game of the year, they went out and beat Franklin, which is a perennial Division I power. And they had a pitcher that's committed D1, Fairfield, who in my opinion is the best pitcher I've seen this year. We went out and beat him 3-0, Doug.
Stephen McLaughlin threw a gem that day, right?
He did, yep. And then we've had a couple tough losses. For instance, a 2-1 loss to Stoughton, could have went either way. Division I power Taunton, 3-0. They pitched their ace against us that day. A pitcher that's going to, I can't remember who he's going to pitch. That's also D1 though. Siena. He's going to pitch for Siena, D1. A lot of real good D1 pitching in the Hockomock League. And we also lost a tough game to Sharon, 3-2. So, I mean, there's 4 games that could have went either way. So, we battle. And where was that strike, Doug?
Yeah, that was below the kneecap, that's for sure.
This guy really lives low.
Going with short hop, so 1-1's the count. And we're going to see strike 2, so Hassett falls in the hole quickly.
It's just, it's probably about a 10-mile-an-hour fastball faster than what we saw yesterday. And I think it's just catching Foxborough a little off guard.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can make the adjustment and just get the bat going through the zone a little quicker the second time around. I mean, well, it's a great play by Coach Derek Seuss at third base. I got to say, I don't think he's misplayed one of those all year. Was he an infielder, Dougie?
He played first base. He's left-handed, so he played first base, mostly outfield.
Did he ever make an error, for crying out loud? I never seen anything like it.
Depends on who. There's strike 3. Yep, yeah. Went to first base. First base umpire had it. I had it as a swing too. So yeah. Devin goes down. Yeah, actually, Derek, we were talking yesterday at home. He stopped by and talked about left-handed catchers, and he used to love to catch. And the thing is we had so many catchers back then that were very good. The Morshed brothers to begin with, Matt and Ryan, and then a couple other kids that, and actually the best catcher in town was probably over at Zavarian, Jeff Leineck.
I went on to play at Wheaton.
Yeah, so it's just like we had phenomenal catchers in Foxborough. And Derek was left-handed, and I says, if you were right-handed, you would struggle to be a catcher with the guys you got to battle with. But it was just a good conversation. So 2-1's the count, 3-1's the count. Rongione working.
We'll take a base runner.
Sure will.
Rongione's coming off a great game yesterday. I think I mentioned before with the hit of the game, in my opinion.
There's another low strike.
Two strikes single to right center to score 2 runs. Clutch.
They had scored a couple of 2 outs too, which was really the key yesterday. This one's going to be a slow one in the middle. Look at that shortstop come through like that. Man.
It's Mike Haganon, another one of those players I was mentioning. Yeah, he's only a junior.
Yeah, he cut that ball off right in front of the bag. So Rongione goes down 6-3 on the play, and that'll bring up Francis Kelly with 2 outs. Foxborough trailing 2-zip in the bottom of the second.
Another guy that had a big game yesterday. Foxborough's going to start noticing right now that this guy's pumping the zone on every first pitch. And it might be the best pitch you get of the at-bat.
True.
And you might want to think about going at it.
Yeah, as we know, having done some coaching in our days, you want to get a pitcher's pitch count up, but if that first pitch is constantly a strike, to your point, Mark, it might be the best pitch you see. There's nothing wrong with being aggressive. If the guy struggles, you work him. But if he's on, you want to attack. There's a nice line drive in the right field.
Uh-oh. Look at this. Saraceno's got a hose in right field. He looked like he wanted to try to throw Jack out at first. But that's what Jack did yesterday, too. I mean, this is a great time of year for Jack to start hitting shots to right field all day long.
Yeah.
And now we have...
this is Steve, right?
Oh, Steve McLaughlin, yep.
Pitches lefty, bats righty.
Yep. This is a tough spot for Steve. He doesn't hit a lot for us because he's our best pitcher, so we take really good care with him as far as days off when he doesn't pitch. So that ball's going to look like it's coming about 120 to Steve.
Yeah, he was DH for yesterday.
Yeah.
So he's quickly down 0-2 in the count.
You got to really get this bat going early. He's out way outside.
Mansfield bench wanted that call. They thought it was a good pitch.
Well, what happened there was the catcher actually moved outside the zone and didn't have to move to catch it, but he was outside the zone catching it. So that's a curve.
Yep, and good job by Steve to hold his bat back, so he evens the count at 2. He should see a pretty good pitch here.
Oh, he'll be challenged with a fastball all day long, I would think.
There's strike 3.
Yeah, I mean, that ball's moving. That's got to be mid-80s. It's something we haven't seen in a while.
And that brings up an interesting point too, Mark. Everybody that watches Major League Baseball, they see these guys in the 90s, and they just naturally think that everybody throws the ball 90 miles an hour, and it's not the case. High school kids, if you get a kid throwing in the 80s in high school, he's doing pretty darn good.
Absolutely.
And he goes on to college, they'll work with him, strengthen him, work on his mechanics. There are some people that are just blessed with arms, but a lot of them have to work to pick up their velocity. And nowadays you got a couple pitchers that actually are, especially Chapman for the Yankees, who exceeds 100 miles an hour like constantly.
Yep. Well, even that Kelly for the Sox tickles it every once in a while now, doesn't he?
Yeah. So it's just, again, the way these guys are today, their training, their size. But you look back at a guy like Pedro Martinez, who was, not a very big ball player by any sense, and he always threw in the high 90s. And it only made his...
it defied all logic. It was amazing.
And it just made his off-speed stuff and his slider stuff was just all that more hard to hit because he just had such good velocity and mechanics. And you didn't know what was coming. He never changed his delivery when he threw a different pitch. So we get to the top of the third here, and Foxborough's just down by 2.
Well, and we have number 1 batting?
Yeah, Nugent again.
Oh, yep. You're doing what you were doing, I was looking at.
Yep.
So this is a 2-batter Nugent.
And we get a strike on a curveball. Devin needs to stay ahead in the count to give himself better opportunities here. Another curveball. That one's a little low.
Let's say that maybe the coaches had noticed that Devin was pounding the zone with that fastball. Maybe you could throw a couple curves here, trying to keep them guessing. Because last inning they were sitting on that fastball.
Sure were.
It's good coaching by Coach Seuss.
And actually, Coach Giannetti, who was a pitcher.
Yeah. Somebody pick something up. There's.
Freitas is tracking this one. Oh, he can't catch up to it though. That ball was really ripped, and Nugent's going to hustle into third. I tell you, Freitas did a good job of tracking that ball, but that thing was hammered to the deepest part of this ballpark.
He can hit.
Wow. And I'm looking at him right in front of us here. He's not a very big kid, man.
Nothing to him.
I'm guessing that kid's probably 5'8", maybe 160 pounds.
Yep.
Boy, did he turn on that pitch.
Yep. Zero body fat, and just in great shape. And now they follow him up with the kid Dow, going to Amherst, and he could hit it out of here. He's hit some tape measure home runs.
And Hazard delivers with a strike, so 1-1's the count.
That's that curve.
Tries it again. This time he's a little high in the zone. High again. 2-1's the count.
Did you notice that? Were they warming somebody up?
It looked like someone was down here warming up in the last inning, but I didn't see anybody but the catcher pass us. So
yeah, exactly.
He walks him.
That looked like a good pitch.
So we get first and third here with nobody out. Now you got Dalton up. You might see the runner at first moving shortly on this. There's a strike. There he goes, delayed steal.
Yeah, he's just trying to entice him.
Yep.
And, we just let him go. I think that's a good job. This kid hit the shot to left field last time up, so he's hitting over 400 for the year.
Wow. So Foxborough brings the infield up. Nice job by Theriot to block that one in the dirt. 2-1. He goes to left again. Morris is under. Oh, he
didn't
lost
see it. Yeah.
Oh God, that's just very unfortunate. It looked like he had tracked that ball cleanly. And
I thought he was nestled under it, and then I saw him make a look like help, and I said, this doesn't look good. I don't know if that could be sun. I don't see the sun.
Yeah, sun would be behind him. He just lost it off the bat, obviously, and that's too bad.
It is.
Well, to his defense, he hasn't played a whole lot.
True.
And, game day, his last home game, maybe some jitters there. And now Freitas is going to have one dropped in front of him, and
got to play at the
McLaughlin drops the cutoff. So Mansfield quickly puts 3 on the board here. And
I think Derek might.
Let's see Giannetti go out.
Maybe trying to get some time, but it doesn't see anybody warming up.
Unless they warmed up Nico.
Who pitched the other day? We might see Quattaroni before. Devin's just smiling out on the mound like, I'm doing my job, and he is. And they're hitting it. Right, Doug?
Yeah, it's hard to stop good hitting.
Yeah.
Mansfield, just like you said, Mark, they're sitting on that fastball, and they're driving it.
I'd love to know what Coach said to him. I mean, what do you say? I mean, he's mixing up his pitches. He's throwing his fastball. He's pounding the zone.
This one's going to be out to Burke in right field.
They're up there hacking. The throwing
we get
second.
it out here. But you're right. They're being aggressive. They're swinging.
Getting ready for a big game against Walpole tomorrow. So they just annihilated Bridgewater Rainham yesterday, 16-1.
Really?
Although it's an off year for Bridgewater Rainham.
And that's uncommon for them.
It is.
I've usually done games of BR in the past. I didn't have any this year. And John Kearney over there, he gets the benefit of not only two towns, but they also pull kids in from Middleborough on school choice. We're going to have a double play ball here. Line drive. Oh, almost threw that one away. Line drive to Marangione, and he doubles off the runner at first. So.
But still, that's a good job there by Mansfield. They had the hit and run going, and, it just got hit at the person.
Right.
But, when you're up by a few runs, that's a great time to try the hit and run. So it's 5-0, bottom of 3.
Yeah, we got to get something going here, that's all. And I think, again, just looking at box scores, talking to Derek and stuff like that, some of the same problems that plagued last year's team under Chris Sullivan is the offense. And, they just don't generate a lot of hits. They've had, innings where they've left guys on base, can't deliver them. And to your point earlier, when you lose a 3-0 game to Taunton, and I know McLaughlin tossed a 5-hitter in one game and he lost it. And it's just like you give up 5 hits in a game, you shouldn't really lose. You can, obviously, but if your pitcher does his job. But hitting, last year they lost, 8 one-run ball games, something like that?
It's funny, I spoke to my son Chad Burse early in the year, and I said, you got to understand, going out to start these games, these games can be won and lost in the first inning as easily the 7th, and you really can't go behind. And they would get like 2 outs in the first inning and looking good, and all of a sudden a guy gets on and then there's a hits batter, and all of a sudden it's like they got 2 runs, and that's devastating to a team that's struggling hitting.
Yeah.
And that happened a couple times. So even here, 5-0. I mean, it wasn't 5-0 before this inning, it was 2, but even 2's tough with a real good pitcher pitching.
And that ball's in the dirt. We have Sean Morris up now.
We can only hope that Carney's on a pitch count. And gets his work and comes and takes a seat next to us, hopefully.
Yeah, but to your point, where they're 5 deep, well hit, that's going to be caught by the right fielder, but not a bad piece of hitting right there. Went with the pitch, drove it.
That's a nice job by the senior, Sean Morris, getting a shot today. Nice job.
Now we're back to the leadoff hitter, Joe Freitas. He's going to drop a nice bunt down the third base line.
Well, that third baseman might have been better suited to try to let that go, but
boy, you can't get much better of a bunt than that.
That was a great bunt.
It was hugging that line right there, to your point, Mark. But again, you're up 5-0. You like the aggressive play by the fielder, figuring like, hey, I got a shot at him, and he didn't miss him by much at first base there.
True.
So Freitas on with a bunt single.
We got guys running by us, warming up in the pen, but I don't know who it is. I mean, I don't know who's the catcher and who's warming up. That was Mike Devlin. I don't know if he's pitched at all this year.
Well,
So,
I know there's no ice cream truck in the parking lot, so they're not running over there for that. This isn't Little League.
oh, we had him
we got
leaning.
him.
Yep.
Yep.
So he had Joe leaning on definitely he was stealing. And stuff like that, down 5-0, doesn't help. Probably, I'd say Coach Seuss definitely had a hit and run on there because he's a guy that loves to hit the right field.
And that's
there
exactly
it goes.
what he does.
Yeah, boy, oh boy. You could just see Derek's frustration there when he saw that ball got hit.
Yeah.
It's exactly what he had on the last pitch was the hit and run.
And now he's smiling a little bit. It's just what happens.
Yep. Welcome to baseball. We would have first and third right now.
Well, Robert Theriault now with 2 outs. Foxborough's got 2 hits, though, in the inning, so Robert fouls that off.
Real nice job there by Robert, knowing that he's coming down the middle. Love to see that.
Don't even try.
Just missed that.
Ball's a little low. Great camera view right there from center field. 2-1's the count. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third.
Well, he knows he's getting a fastball, and he sat on it.
That's trouble.
Oh,
it's just
I think
foul.
it's foul. Jeez.
It is.
Had to sit on a nice one, Robert. That's 2 good swings from Robert at this at bat. I couldn't tell him how many feet that was foul. Was it close?
I don't think it was as close as we would have liked to have seen it, but he certainly had the left fielder beat on that one, Mark.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it not only was on the line, but it was deep too. So it was a good piece by Robert right there. So count is even at 2. He fouls that one off. Good job.
Like I said before, Robert is he's a battler. This is the type of guy that you love to have because he's got a passion for the game.
Bird getting a little bit of a lead there. That's by the catcher.
Here we go.
Now we got a runner in scoring position. 3-2 count. With the base open, you're not going to see that groove right here. He's going to try and probably throw that off speed, nibble a little bit, maybe get Robert to chase something down. But he's not going to see first base open. He's not going to see that meatball. Nice foul off right there.
Battling.
Like you said, this pitcher definitely has some velocity on his pitches. Count is still full.
Right at him.
Yeah, you know, well hit, and again, right.
That's a good at bat from
shortstop.
Robert. You know, got him deep in the pitch count. Probably got about 10 pitches out of him. Hit a couple balls hard. Too bad, right at him.
Yep. So we go to the
now we
top of the
got
fourth.
Mike Devlin running right by us here, so I do think he's going into the game to pitch. Mike's a sophomore, hasn't pitched a lot. This could be interesting.
Well, that's who's going out there.
Tell you the field.
Hassett goes to left field, so Sean Morris is the one who's coming out of the game.
Tell you the field couldn't be in better shape. It's gorgeous. The complex is beautiful back here.
Yeah. They've put a little more work into it this past year. Again,
I think your son did most of it.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for opening day, yeah, the team was out here cleaning up the field. The town guys were busy cleaning up from the storm we had, tree work and things of that nature. But, you know, the whole idea of putting in the turf field took a long time to finally see that come to fruition. And part of the deal to get state reimbursement money of some sort, I guess, is we basically had to build a new field, and that's why this one ended up back here. And because the baseball field out front was fantastic. I mean,
I love playing there. I agree with you, Doug. Yeah.
I mean, again, when the school opened up in '73, I graduated in '76, so you know the field was only like 2-3 years old when I was playing on it, and it was not the best field around at that point in time. But over the years, the work that was put in and the grass finally came in to almost make it like a carpet. You know, if there was a downside, it was just that on the third base side, you had no foul territory really, and you know, but it was a beautiful field, fenced in, no sun problems, anything like that. So there's another rope. So Devlin's first pitch gets rocketed into center field.
That was right at him.
Yeah.
keep that glove up. That's a little scary.
But back here, you get the softball field out there in center field too. So, most towns, they have all their fields at their high school. Foxborough is one of the few that doesn't have that situation.
And again, Dougie, just not to keep bringing it up, but that's their 8-hitter there. This is their 9.
Yeah. Devlin throws a nice curve to get ahead in that count there. First pitch strike.
It looks like we're giving Robert Terrio the rest of the day off too behind the plate. Maybe he did hurt his right shoulder or going back to the bag.
Yeah, precautionary if anything. They get a week off before they would open up in the tournament, so there's no bad decision there. A nice curveball again by Devlin. The Warriors do have a handful of talented underclassmen, though, and I just think here we go, double play ball. Oh, throws off. Should have been a double play, but we'll take the out at second. But I just think that the idea of not rushing kids too soon. The freshman Yost is a prime example.
Yeah,
he's going to be a good ball player.
Sure is.
The catcher we got in there right now.
We got Kyle McGinnis is his name.
Yeah.
He's a sophomore. I love his swing. He's just a kid, like you said.
Yep.
His future's bright.
The runner's off.
I mean, that's a pretty good throw.
Yeah, it was not a bad throw. It's just, I think because we had an off-speed pitch
Yeah,
right there.
he chose to send him on a curveball, and that makes everything a lot harder to throw the guy out.
But
There's
the ball,
no velocity
the
on
throw
the
is
pitch.
right on the money.
It was.
So Mansfield has another runner in scoring position with one out here at the top of the 4th.
Top of the order. And there it goes.
Right there. Freitas is tracking again.
Wow, that's a bomb, too.
Man.
That was the Saraceno kid.
Now you go back, and here's my philosophy on hitting. All right, a kid hits, a couple infield hoppers that find C&I singles. The Texas Leaguer, he goes 3 for 3. He's all happy because his batting average is high. I take the kid that's hit 3 ropes right at people or deep in the, a guy makes a good play in the outfield, and I go, which ones would I rather hit?
Yeah.
I take the rope.
Yeah.
Because I know eventually those balls are going to fall.
Yeah, it's funny the way that evens out,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd rather see the guy hit the ball real hard.
Yeah. I mean, as a coach, I'm always happy if a guy gets on base, regardless how it is, error, hit, get hit by pitch, whatever.
Right.
But when I'm looking at who's hitting the ball good, it's not always in the batting average. There are kids that are just snake bit, as we used to say. Nice stop there.
Nice stop.
The 3-0's the count, I believe.
Probably give him the green light here.
Nice pitch.
That Sam would have liked to have swung.
Yeah, sure. Another good pitch. He comes back to run the count to full, 3-2.
Go get him, sophomore.
There you go. Nice play by McLaughlin.
Nice job by Devlin.
Yeah, actually Devlin hustling over to cover first base too.
Yep, love to see that. Heads up.
So Foxborough escapes that inning, no harm. Let's see if we can get something going here in the bottom of the 4th.
Looks like Malik was warming up. Probably go to short.
He was out a few games this year too, right? With an injury.
Yeah, he hurt his shoulder, and I would say he missed 6 games, and he's a big part of this lineup. He's the type of kid that you would love, Dougie. You can just challenge him.
Yep.
I think we were talking yesterday, Dougie, about coaches have to know who they can challenge and who they need to put the kids' gloves on.
Right.
And this kid, I mean, you challenge him, and if you told him he couldn't do something, he'll do it.
Yeah, that's what you want.
I mean, he came in yesterday, it was just lights out pitching. Struck out 4 batters in a row. Good stuff.
Yeah. And
he's got another year. And he's got another year.
Yeah, so next year you're looking, he possibly could be the ace. Certainly is going to be the starting shortstop.
Yep. And he's, we've talked about how strong the Hockomock League is, and all this kid did last year was go out and hit 370 as a sophomore. Just, the injury was tough this year. Who knows what he would have hit?
Yeah.
If he stays healthy next year, watch out.
All right, well, Chad's going to lead off the bottom of the 4th for Foxborough, trailing 5-zip at this point.
Oh, now that's just good pitching. So Chad's definitely sitting on a fastball there, and he deuces him. That's tough. We'll be talking about that later. Back-to-back deuces, yeah. Now he's definitely going to get him, wondering what's coming now. Right by him. Good fastball. Set him up with the curve, nice.
1-2's the count.
Oh!
Fouls that off.
I think he either fouls that off or it hits him. Did that look like it was inside, Doug?
A little tight. Could have been defensive swing.
Got him swinging.
I tell you, I was amazed yesterday too. The location is field out behind the high school. You got the Friends Field that's behind us, but got a lot of tree line. You don't realize there is open space back there, but a lot of foul balls. And I was amazed at how many were fouled. I figured once they went off the bat, I go,
yeah,
dig into the box, grab another couple balls, right? I tell you, there were a couple kids that just kept coming out of the woods with balls.
Yep.
There's an inside strike. Quickly ahead, two strikes now.
Yeah, I've seen this kid pitch a couple times this year, and I'll tell you, he does tend to get stronger, which is pretty scary. I mean, that's a great pitch right there. I mean, you kind of hope these kids tire a little bit, but they just get stronger.
And he gets him swinging again.
He's getting stronger.
Yeah, so Ron Gioni is up now, 2 out, nobody on. He doesn't waste much time between pitches either.
No.
You know, I mean, he's working quickly.
Yeah.
And I tell you, as an umpire, that you love to see that. You really do.
Yes.
The ball gets back to that kid. He's already he's going.
Yep.
Less than 10 seconds. And I think a lot of times that comes when you're in a groove.
Yeah, you want to stay there.
You
Yeah.
want to stay there. Here he is again. That's fouled off. Nice defensive swing there by Ron Gioni. So 2-2's the count. Now we'll run to 3-2. And he draws a walk, 2-out walk there. Good at bat by Matt Rongioni. And Francis Kelly will come up now. I believe he had hit his first time up.
Yep, he shot a ball to right. See if we can do it again. See if we can get a little first to third action going here and get on the board.
Another low one. Outside corner on that one. He chased a high one. Down in the count now, 1 ball, 2 strikes. He fought that one off to the right center gap. Easily hauled in though. So Foxborough goes down basically with leaving the runner on a base on balls, but still nothing on that scoreboard. And now we will see some change here as Malika goes into short, as you had suspected, Mark. And don't see anybody else checking in.
I think that's about it.
Suspecting at some point in time we may see Tedescucci get in. He is the only senior who's not played yet.
Yeah, he's probably going to maybe pitch the last inning. There's
Derek was telling me he was reading his pitching line to me. He's pitched a couple games. His ERA's like 1.16 or something like that in the few innings he's pitched. But he's the mixture of hits and walks. You know, he's just been able to get out of it. Let's just say, you know.
Yeah, he misses high a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
But from an ERA perspective, you know, looks good. And again, there's not a lot of pitching here. Here we are, top of the fifth now.
Now we got Dow. Starts him off with a curve.
Nice off-speed pitch
So
there.
this is their four-hitter.
What's Mansfield's record, Mark?
They are.
Are they on top in the big division?
So they're 11-3 in the division, which is good for first place. Oh, there's a bomb. Oh boy. Honest to goodness. That'll be a stand-up triple.
They're gonna. No, he was thinking of sending them.
Wow. So yeah, they're 11-3, Doug, in the league, and 16-3 overall. Wow. Just some of their good wins this year. They beat Severian 2-0.
Yeah.
Braintree 5-4. I mean, perennial powers in baseball.
Absolutely.
They scored 128 runs and allowed 42. And we're seeing that today with some hitting that we haven't seen all year, Doug.
Wow, I tell you, that ball right there went all the way out to the center field fence, which is like 400 feet away.
The scary part is he didn't get it all.
That one's going to go up over the top of us here. That one's going to put one in the dirt that's going to score a run.
You see Coach Breen over here talking to Chad at third base, having a good time. Chad's played for Coach Breen for a couple of years. Coach Breen, very, very good baseball coach. Pitched at Stonehill, and nobody works harder at coaching than this kid.
Actually, a lot of young coaches in the Hawk-Mock League.
Good to see, isn't it, Doug?
Yeah, it is. You know, you get some of the guys that get a little long in the tooth, and you know, not to take anything away from them, especially when they've had success, but you know, sometimes change is good. Certainly, Mike Hart over at North Attleboro is doing a really good job.
Well, OA had that coach that was it Duggan?
Yeah, Duggan was
he was there
forever.
when you played.
Yeah,
and it was time for him to go.
Yeah,
and
well, we hit a batter here.
They're loaded over there in OA now.
Yeah,
it's another.
Well, OA back when Derek and Daryl Giannetti were seniors, you know, OA was the team they couldn't beat in the Hawk, and lost 2 games to them during the regular season, tight ball games, and then as it turned out, they had the sectional final that they lost to them in the 7th inning. Again,
I remember that game.
Another tough game.
It was a great game.
Great game. You know, Daryl Giannetti started pitching, and then they brought in Swanton, and Swanton had a good year that year. Butchie Swanton.
Yeah.
good
Was
pitcher.
that after,
Mike's,
he broke his leg?
It was before, yeah. But you know, he came in as a sophomore, did well. But again, a nice team. Glenn Collin at the time did a good job coaching them. But OA was loaded back then. They had twin brothers that were pitchers that were phenomenal. Then a kid, Dallas Nunes, that played at Southern New Hampshire, a hell of a ball player.
Hit and run.
This is trouble.
That's another successful hit and run.
Yeah. You can see why they're 16-3.
Yeah, you can, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, coaching has a good part of that, but I mean, he's making the right decisions right now. But these kids are aggressive with their bats.
They are.
And, you know, and then the pitching's been really lights out today, so.
Yeah, I mean, you can, you know, I know that we've always had the Foxborough-Mansfield rivalry. To be honest with you, there really isn't much one here. A lot of the Mansfield kids here and a lot of the Foxborough kids here know each other. And, you know, there's a mutual respect. I mean,
Sure.
you can't take anything away from Mansfield here. They're not rubbing anybody's nose in it.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Nice try, Chad.
you know what? Until that ball got knocked out,
Yeah.
he had that out right there. That was a heck of an effort by Chad.
Tell you, he is playing a good third base. I mean, yesterday he had 4 final out plays with the bases loaded or runners on first and second. And, you know, Dougie and I have talked about this before. You know, if you're out in the field and you really don't want the ball hit to you, you're going to get it.
It'll
and you're
find
gonna,
you.
And you're going to boot it. And, you know, he loves having the ball hit to him. And, that was almost a hell of a play.
Yeah, there was that one play yesterday that he actually dove to the line.
Yep.
And that would have been down there for a 2-base hit. A couple
And
runs
again,
scored.
what we were saying before too, Dougie, games could be won and lost in the third inning, second inning, and you know that was a big play in the game.
Well, JT's going to haul this one in, and we're going to get a double tag.
It's a nice job by JT hitting his cut off.
Nothing we can do there.
Nope. To be honest, guess what? That's a real good piece of hitting.
Yeah, it sure is.
You know, he lifted the ball with a guy on third.
Yeah, and gets the second base runner over to third on top of it. So
Yeah, we're seeing a pretty good clinic right here.
yeah, 7-0's the score. We're in the top of the fifth. There's 2 outs now.
And this is the last hitter in the lineup, Haganon, who could easily be the leadoff hitter. And started off the season. as the
And
leadoff.
again, we see a delayed steal.
Now that I don't know if I'd be stealing second up 7-0, but that's just that's the way I get when I start losing. I don't like it. Doug and I have talked about this before too. You know, you can't be accepting of losing.
No.
You know, you don't have to like what you're being fed.
No, but there's some unwritten rules that you do, and I get it. It's the 5th inning, so you know maybe it's 6th or 7th inning. Kid doesn't steal,
Yeah,
but
we're close to that point. Where,
yeah, we are
where
close.
you
So
might-
there's just like a gentleman's code, let's say, that you know when somebody's maybe pushing the envelope there, but
right.
good curveball there. That's a foul ball off the batter's leg. So
I remember this year, we were over in Attleboro, and they were up 10-1, and they stole third base, and I had to leave the, as you know, Doug, I get a little hot-headed. I had to leave the dugout area. I mean, 10-1, stealing third. Nice stop.
Yep.
But you know what? The other thing too, Doug, is that a lot of people don't understand the game. You know, there is a like a code there that you really should follow, and gentlemanly. Some of the guys don't play by it,
No, they don't,
and that can come back and get you to haunt you. You know.
well, I tell you, when they get older, you'll see things, unfortunately, where they'll throw at batters.
Yeah.
And you know, you certainly never teach that.
Nope.
Not to any young kids.
No. You'll
But,
see it at the higher levels.
You'll see
definitely.
it definitely.
Yep.
You know, professional baseball, it does happen.
Yep.
And then they always say that, oh, that one just got away from me. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And then when one of your guys gets hit, what happens next? One of their guys gets hit. So
yeah. And there we go.
there we go. So we got a full count here. 2 outs. Devlin's going at him though. Just misses. First base was open, so You got to force it any base, but we get to the
we spin the top.
top of the order again, and
We got our buddy Saraceno.
yeah.
I think the wind's blowing out the right too, Dougie.
Yeah, I feel it to our back, Mark, so this could be trouble. Good stop again. I guess the game the other day at North, kid from North hit a grand slam, and first question I asked my son was, I go, did it go over that left field short porch? He goes, yeah. And I go, you got community field. I don't like it as a baseball field. You know, I understand football field and all the tradition, and
I mean, you can hit a fly ball to left, and that's in the bleachers.
Yeah, it's just, you know what? And they got all that land up there behind their high school. They got a baseball field up there. They can build a nice field up there, but you know, they like that tradition. Well, we're going to walk home and run here, so that's going to bring Coach Seuss out. But yeah, first thing I said.
Well, there's a couple kids warming out over there, but they're
a little young,
like 8 and 9, so they're just playing catch. What were you saying, Doug?
I was going to say just that whole thing, like you said, the right left field, that short porch.
Yeah.
And then you get to like left center field, it goes right of a mark. Then it's it's legit if it goes into the stands for a home run versus going out. You know, it's just, the whole thing. It always drove me nuts.
Yep.
But then again, North drives me nuts anyhow. So
I couldn't agree with him more.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, 8-0 here. Mr. Devlin with a visit from his coach and delivers high for a ball. Another one in the dirt.
I don't know if I would have went with a curve there with the bases loaded and already thrown the ball, but I guess they thought they could have got him chasing.
Here's a strike. Thing you have here though too is you got runners on base that are getting nice leads because they're not being held.
Yeah. So ball hitting the outfield.
Yeah.
So they're moving.
Here's another strike.
Living low.
He evens the count at 2. See if he delivers here and get us out of this inning. Floats the high curve.
I'd love to let him get one of those. You know, it's got to be close, but consistency is what you're looking for an umpire, and he's not giving it. So that's a good job. Just missed.
That was inside. So he's walked 2 guys in, consecutive batters.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's a time like this where I hate to say it, but boy, I wish we televised yesterday's game. You know.
There goes Nico to the pen.
All right. So we're gonna get Nico some work on senior day. Good for Nico. Oh, Dow sitting on fastball. Coach Seuss, after seeing that swing, just moved Joey Freitas. I believe he might be in Plainville now. Nice stop.
Yeah.
See, we got one thing about Foxborough, I will say, of course I'm biased because I eat, sleep, and drink Foxborough baseball, but that's just a great job knocking that down and just still competing, even the way things aren't going well.
Well, this is he's going to score 2.
I drive up on the ground ball.
But that, to your point right there, Mark, there's the pride factor. And then if you're a competitor, hopefully some of these kids are, they want to show something. And the next year, just because you start this year doesn't necessarily mean that you got to start in position next year. So you're always auditioning for your next game. as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Kyle, being the catcher and everything. And I got to be honest with you, that kid, he works hard in practice and warming up pitches. I mean, he deserves a shot right here, and he's doing a great job. I mean, like what you were saying before, Dougie. I mean, these guys are running out in the woods getting the balls. Guess who's the first kid going out there to get the ball?
He's one of them, absolutely.
I mean, I hope he's checking himself for ticks. But just a real nice attitude.
Yeah.
So he's got a pitching change, and
yeah,
this could be interesting. This is a kid that pitched, maybe when he was 12 and Little League. But,
well, he should be well rested then.
This is Chad Burst coming in. Nice gesture by Derek to give him a little work today.
I'm sure his grandfather's already yapping out there in center field about this.
Oh, yeah, I don't think he's still here. He's got a way of folding up the chair and leaving when he's seen enough.
All right.
It's funny, too, because my mother likes to stay just to watch her grandson play, but he's gone. And there's only one car. So.
Yeah, our paths go way back. When I moved to Foxborough back in '73, we lived down the street from Mark's family. His dad, Larry, worked at the Foxborough company, and later in life, when I was working there too, and Larry.
He worked for you.
He worked for me. Great guy, knowledgeable of sports.
Oh yeah, he knows baseball. I'll tell you, it's a funny little tidbit. I doubt in all of the Hockomock League there's a fourth-generation baseball player, but Chad's one of them.
He is.
My father's father played here. My father played here. I played here. And now Chad's playing here. That's pretty rare, I would think.
Yeah, I would think it is.
Yeah.
Especially in the same town where people move over time. So there's a strike. Evens the count at 1. Little sneaky fastball there.
Well, here's another kid that he will not mail it in. He loves a challenge, much like Mollica. They remind me of each other, the two of them. They've played together forever, and he will. That's another shot from Ennis.
And we're going to score a runner for first base on this one.
So that was Tyler Dalton, I think.
So it brings the score to 13-0, and there's just not much you can do to stop it.
And looks like Coach Breen has decided to start making some changes. So we have number 9 hitting now for I believe Pena. So this would be Christopher Kelleher. I don't know him.
And Chad delivers the strike.
Kind of glad to see Coach Breen make that move and start resting some of his ball to the left.
This one's got to be just fouled down the left field line. Hassett gave it a chase. So with Chad coming into the mound, we have a substitution at third base here too. Number 14 for us.
Joe Cavalieri.
Is that Cavalieri?
Yep. Sophomore.
This strike 3.
Very
good.
bright future for Joe.
Pretty good hitter.
Very good hitter, and Derek's going to enjoy him the next 2 years.
He throws a little bit too.
Yes, he does.
So 1-2's the count. Runner at second base. There's strike 3. Sneaky little one at the knees.
That's the tough part about not pitching since you were 12. He doesn't not even know what a curveball is. I don't think he knows how to throw it. So.
He's not going to wreck his arm, that's for sure.
He just pound the zone.
So, come in, you got 3 innings, you got 9 outs to work with here. You got to try and look at getting something on the scoreboard here, just to, again, build a little momentum. Prove that you can
Well, like I said,
score against a good team.
they'll keep coming out and playing, Doug, and I know you love that attitude too.
Yeah.
They're here. They're still playing. That's Foxborough baseball. So we'll touch base real quick on some of the guys, seniors, and what their plans are.
Sounds good.
So Devin Hassett, the star quarterback this year, had a great season in football.
Sure did. MVP.
Yep. Is going to Bridgeton Academy. next year. Steve McLaughlin, our ace pitcher, is going to go to UMaine Orono for political science.
There you go.
Joe Freitas, UMass Amherst. Matt Rongioni, after a great basketball season, by the way.
Yeah.
URI for engineering.
Very good school.
Nico Tedescucci, Dean College
Yep.
for education and history. Robert Terriolt's going to head over to Bryant for finance, and JT Burke's going to follow him and go to Bryant for business. And Chad Burse is going to also join those guys.
3 at Bryant.
Also going for business. Yeah, and 3 good friends. They'll have a great time there together.
Yeah. Very good school.
Jack Francis Kelly is going to go to UMass Amherst for psychology, and our Mr. Morris is going to go to Merrimack, and I think that's all our seniors covered.
I think you captured them all.
Yep.
But it's good to see 10 kids trying to continue their education. You know, there's a lot of kids that joined the service today. God bless them. And some basically go into the working world. But any opportunity you get to continue your education and try and make yourself a better life, I applaud these kids and their parents, because it's a task putting kids through college these days. Having done it 4 times, I'm grateful I did. But it's the gift that keeps on giving as far as those student loans go. So, but worth every penny.
Yeah.
Worth every penny.
But we're happy for all those kids to continue their
Absolutely.
education, and it speaks to how good of kids they are.
Yeah.
Looking down that list, every single one of those kids is going to excel.
Yeah, they will. And it's part of the upbringing. Baseball, ground ball is second base. Unfortunately, Stevie's out. But, baseball's just a small microcosm of their life. It's an activity. I'm sure when they go home, they're not happy if they lose, but, they're not going to sit there and let it eat them up. They move on to the next thing. They got homework and other activities, could have jobs,
Yeah.
social life, family commitments.
Yeah, well, our seniors are done with school now.
Yeah.
Some of these guys are already going out and making money this summer, getting ready for college. I know Chad was out working today.
Yeah, I put my nephew to work in my yard today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he prefers working at Dairy Queen than he does out in the yard, but he gave me a hand. So his first day, he had his last final today, and I put him right to work. So
There you go.
1-2's the count.
This is the sophomore Cavalier.
Yeah.
And this, whatever he does here at the at-bat, you'll see a nice swing.
Here's strike 3. Except
Unless he gets fooled with a fastball. But he's just got a real nice swing. He does. He's hit some real good balls this year. And now we'll spin the top with Joe Freitas,
Yeah.
who roams center field about as good as anybody I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's a shame he just didn't play the 4 years, but that's down the line. This is going to be a heck of a play by the third baseman.
And as you saw by that arm right there, that's one of their 5 pitches,
Yeah.
and that was a cannon. So when he's not pitching, he plays third. Not a lot of third basemen are going to throw a rope over there from there.
So there's a scoreboard. You'd almost think this is a football game with that score.
And they missed an
13-zip.
extra point, huh, Doug?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Nico's on the mound.
Yeah, we got Nico Tedescucci checking in, the senior, the last of the 10 that will make his appearance today.
It's a good spot. This is a guy that comes to play every day and helps in any way he can.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity for Nico. He's been doing this mop up all year for us.
I think too, again, mentioned the younger kids a couple times already, but conversations I've had with Derek, and this was like his dream job. This is what he wanted. He's been given the opportunity, but he knew what he was walking into this year, and he always could have high hopes, and you anticipate maybe a couple breaks happening your way. I think they were counting on Joe Morrison coming back, and that was negated by his soon-to-be college soccer coach, and Then a couple other kids, O'Donnell, who had played some ball in the past, he's still recovering from an injury. So I mean, you don't always get the ideal situation, but the key thing I think is that he got some kids to come back that hadn't played in a few years, and then he's got some underclassmen that I think next year there will be an improvement. They're not going to mirror this season next year. I honestly feel that there'll be a much improved team. And it's just the way they play ball. To your point, they hustle on and off the field.
Yeah.
Nobody's hanging
That's
their
a
heads.
reflection of the coach. You know? And Derek's done a great job. He's made a lot of moves this year where, as I've said, Dougie, we love just, the cerebral part of baseball. And, we break down games just sitting here watching it. And he makes moves, and I'm saying, boy, that's a good move, And he gets it. You can tell he really understands the game. And the thing that I like the most about him is very upbeat. Even today, there's not one kid that's getting berated or anything. He's lifting them all, and that's what you need. And
it's easy to be negative. For sure. When things go bad, a kid doesn't need to be told things are bad. He can see it. He can feel it.
Yep.
And it's just a matter of trying to keep their focus and build on it. And if the kids respond to any coach that's like that, then you get a win-win situation there. Nico with a nice low strike. He's ahead in the count.
It's another sub, Eric Longley from Mansfield.
Geez, a lot of these kids are built the same way from Mansfield too.
Yeah.
Just a different number on their back.
They're big on a 5-tool. Yeah, they can all hit and run and good arms. Actually, Longley, he's a sub coming off the bench today, but he starts quite a bit too. So.
Well, there was a rope in the left field. Hassett did a nice job of getting that ball quickly, holding him to a single. But Longley checks in and immediately is on base. So Nico, with no outs here in 6th, has a runner on first.
Another pinch hitter, Connor Smith.
In the dirt.
Good work.
Get us again with a nice block.
Continuing to work behind the plate.
Come on, Speed. Hey, Speed. Hey, what do you say, kid?
Another one in the dirt. This one he gets away from him though.
That got his leg.
Who's your high school coach, Mark?
I played for Chippewa.
Was it the Chip?
Yeah.
I had Chip when I played JV.
Chip LaPlaca was great. A funny story about Chip. We had probably 4 guys hitting close to 500. We had one of the best hitting teams in the state. When I was a junior, they were seniors, and it was funny because Chip announced him as a hitting coach, and I'm like,
Another pitch in the dirt.
You weren't really a hitting coach. It was you just had some really good hitters.
I'll give you another Chip story. Again, I had him at JV, and he used to occasionally have to cut out early because he worked a second job. Not quite sure, I can't remember what it was, but he used to cut out early, and he left us unattended one day over at the Booth Field, and just for giggles, we decided to crank every ball into the pond over there. So the next day we have practice, and there's no balls in the bucket, and the Chip goes, what happened to all the balls? We go, Coach, you're not going to believe this, but we fouled off literally 30 balls in a row. He goes, well, then we'll just run today, see that we got no balls to play with. Yeah, not a good idea.
Yeah.
We come back to be haunted by that one, but Chip was a character.
He was. He had some passion for the game.
Yeah. Low pitch, and we're going to see a ground ball. Francis Kelly, that'll score a run. Good piece of hitting right there, though.
Hey, one down here. Come on, Teddy.
I recall, too, I think, well, you mentioned, I think earlier, maybe Chris Capron was a name that you might have mentioned earlier or whatever, but there's a kid that could pitch.
Yep.
And never needed any rest. Never worried about how many guys were on base, how many outs. And I know that that one takes a bad hop by Chad. He was great position for it. Must hit a rock or something. But they had a game in Sharon, and I think they won about 15 innings. And Capron pitched all 15 innings. who does that to a kid? His pitch count.
Pitch count.
Who the heck knows what it was?
40.
But yeah, but his arm never got tired, and Chipper just stayed with him.
Yep.
Got the W.
Well, this kid's working hard behind the plate.
Sure is.
We're running out of things to talk about here, Doug.
Well,
so it's the 6th.
Well, Nico does throw him low. I mean,
Yeah.
he's consistently down there.
Yep. Pitches downhill. He's pretty tall. Release point's high.
Another roll. Chad, nice play. That was a pretty good turn by Francis Kelly over there. He had that runner right down on top of him. But Chad with a great stop right there. We get the lead out. So now there's 2 gone.
It's a good time for him to start playing some good third base, going into the tournament.
Yeah.
It'd be nice. We're strong on this side with Molliker and Burse.
Another one low in the zone. I think, too, just in town baseball scene, but over the last couple of years, being an umpire and stuff like that, doing town league games, there's a lot of guys that put in time to coach. I never knock a guy who puts in time to coach. But there's not a lot of guys that know a lot about certain aspects of the game. They may know the game,
so true,
but
Dougie.
pitching,
Yeah.
for example, unless you have somebody that pitched, that ball's just fouled on the first base line. Unless you had somebody that pitched, you're just like, you're looking at maybe a kid that throws hard, maybe a kid that throws a curveball here or there, but there's nobody to teach them mechanics. And then they play that, and they play high school. In high school, they're getting that instruction, but they're not getting it outside of high school. And that slap to the left side, he's going to forward for a hit. But the whole time they're growing up until they get to high school, there's not a lot of people working with them.
Yeah, it's true, Doug. It really is. I've coached Chad's age group, Chad Burse's age group, from 8 years old, All-Stars, till 14. And I went through exactly what your poor son's going through right now. It's just, we just don't quite have what these other towns have.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating, But again, they show up to play every game, and they got themselves in the tournament by fighting yesterday and beating Coyle 8-2. And there was a lot of excited people here yesterday, Doug.
Yeah, there actually was a pretty good crowd yesterday.
It was. The group of parents were. It's a shot to Molliker. You don't want to go across the diamond there.
He had the out at second base. He actually had the out here at third, too.
Yeah, so Chad got back for him. He could have thought about going there. But we're as a group, the parents are pretty tight too, and we're high-fiving people leaving here yesterday. And, we're very happy for our kids and for Derek. Like you said before, you don't really like the Sullivan rule, and you know what, neither do I. But we're the only Division III team in the Hockenlock League.
Well, the reality of it is that some people say, well, we played all against these Division I and II teams, so we should be able to make a run in the D3 tournament. Anything's possible. The reality of it is that unless you're playing a preliminary game against another team that's in a similar situation, you're drawing a number 1 or number 2 seed early. And guess what? There's a reason that those teams...
Well, they're going to have a guy that's an ace, and, for a baseball purist like us, so we look forward to that game because we got ace against ace. I mean, win or lose, you're looking for a 3-2, 4-3 ball game with some really good ball.
Yeah.
That's fun baseball to watch. This, on the other hand, isn't.
Yeah.
In
the last 2 times that Foxborough made deep runs in the tournament, again, Derek's senior year, and followed up a couple years later with Joe Clegg and Butch Swanton and those guys, they did it with pitching. So,
Gotta have it.
again, you get into the tournament, and now it's just like if you got two good starting pitchers, and if you're lucky to have a third, you know, you don't get into too much trouble. You can control your own destiny, and you can win those tight ball games if you're getting some good defense.
Well, let's put it this way. You know, whoever we draw, they better not take us lightly.
No,
You know.
you could see Coyle again. You know,
Yeah.
for all you know.
Well, you know what I say to that? Bring them on.
Yeah.
You know. But you know, like we said, ace against ace, and you know, Anthony
Good
Moliker is. I mean, he's pitching unbelievable right now. So, for instance, you know, our ace would probably be Steve, and who knows if Coach will pitch Steve or Anthony. That's obviously his decision. But so Steve goes deep, and then you pitch Yost. You know, you get into the second game with.
Just foul.
Jesus.
Good chase by
Good hustle
Chad
by both
and
guys,
Anthony.
yeah. If you could get to the second game with Moliker pitching, now you got 1 and 1A. I mean,
Yeah.
they're both good pitchers. You know, but chances are you're probably going to have to use Moliker in the first game.
Yeah.
You know, in relief of McLaughlin, or
Yeah.
vice versa, whatever coach.
And what you got here today, I mean, you know, you sell Devin Hassett, who hasn't had a lot of pitching experience. And, you know,
I mean, Devin's taking a bullet for us today.
He
you
did.
know, you give him the ball, you tell him to go out there and you pound the zone, and he did.
problem is Mansfield's just such a good hitting team.
Right.
They were sitting on his fastball, and you know, everybody else that's been in since him is pretty much a sacrificial lamb.
Yes.
Because this team just hits the crap out of the ball. And to your point, though, you know, you get in the tournament, and if you got a kid that can throw a gem for you and silence the other team's bats, then you just got to hope that you can squeak a couple out somehow.
Yeah.
You know, a couple walks, a hit batter. You know, it's sort of like yesterday. There was 5 hit batters yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, things like that come back to haunt you.
Well, it's at that point it's timely hitting, you know.
Yep. Here, we should get out of the inning with this one. There we go. So they strand 3 runners on base. So
See, what I
Nico
mean,
does a
like Doug,
serviceable
like
job, but
this is a perfect example of like everybody's running off the field, Doug. You know,
Right.
And running onto the field to start the inning. Nobody's walking, and you know you don't see that. I hate it more than anything is the body language of a kid that's having a bad day. You know, we're 17, 18 years old now. Knock it off, you know. And that's what Derek's doing a great job of too. I mean, these guys, they're running on the field, running off the field, and you know, they're putting the effort forward.
yeah. So Kearney's still on the mound.
Oh boy, thanks for nothing.
Yeah. Must have somebody because it's a mop-up duty here or something, right?
I mean, he must be trying to stretch him out, you know, for a tournament game.
Yeah. Well, if they're
What I
5,
say to him there is, if you want to stretch him out, pull him out, put him out in the dugout, and let him throw another 30.
Yeah.
Give us a break.
but if they're 5 deep, like you said, Mark.
Yep.
You know, again, this Super 8 tournament. I was actually unaware of that. I didn't realize they started that a couple of years ago.
Yeah, 4
but,
years ago. Yeah.
But you know, like hockey, it's a whole new ball game. Basically, you got your elite teams that are getting in there, right?
It's as good as it gets, you know.
And you win 3 games, and then you're Super 8 champ, I guess, right? So,
Well, you know, and again, if you love baseball, if they do it like they've done it in the past, the finals end up being at that, is it Campanelli Stadium in Brockton?
yeah.
Boy, you know, if you want to go over and watch a great baseball game and you happen to get, you know, Mansfield against St. John's Prep or St. John's Shrewsbury,
Yeah.
if you got nothing better to do, that's fun to
Boy,
watch.
it's a good ticket.
You know,
You're
and
right.
BC's got a guy pitching that's going to be drafted in the first round this year, throwing. Burke with a shot to right.
Nice
Attaboy.
job. He continues to drive that ball to the right side. JT's on fire of late.
See what you think about this swing, Dougie. I was talking about him before. This is that Kyle McGinnis, the sophomore.
Right.
I like his swing. I'm sure Derek will probably notice that, you know, he may want to shorten it up a little bit, but look at that.
That's a good
I mean,
cut.
I like that. I think Derek will shorten him up next year, maybe, but I think he's been. But I just like his swing. Some swings I like, some swings I don't. He loads.
Yeah, strike on the outside corner there. Well, you get between Derek and Daryl, you got two different hitting styles.
I know. I never.
Strike three. Can't take that one.
I never saw Daryl play. I mean, he was an ace pitcher. Is that correct?
He was one of them. Yeah.
And did he play the field when he didn't pitch?
Rarely.
Oh, okay.
They were deep. I mean, he'd play some first base, but they were deep. You know, in fact, the best pitcher in that age group was Bayek, and he was over at Zavarian, who later pitched at BC.
Yep. Okay.
But Bernstein ended up.
Tufts. Yeah.
He went to Tufts. So there's good pitch, but Daryl. Close. Daryl, as a hitter, he could drive a ball, and you know, he was your power hitter and stuff like that. You know, could load up. Whereas Derek, on the other hand, well, left-handed for one, didn't strike out often. Had a good eye, drew a lot of walks. Actually, didn't hit his first home run in his career until he played college ball. I mean, Little League Babe Ruth, high scorer, he never hit a home run. Chad finds the hole on the third base side. He gets to college, he hits a home run in college. I missed it, but my son-in-law saw it. He was out in Springfield College. My son-in-law was working in Springfield at the time, and he sends me a text message and says, "Derek just hit one out of the ballpark." I go,
You gotta be
one of life's treasures. I missed my son's first home run, but we got to see his last one, which was good. So, but again, different hitting styles, and nowadays with coaches, you know, it's not like football where you got 12 guys on your staff and you got all these specialists. You get 2, maybe 3 guys, and you got to try and cover pitching, fielding, hitting, base running. It puts a lot of demand on coaching. Just going to be an easy out here. Double play ball, no less. It's a shame we get 2 good hits, Burke and Burris right there, but double play ball erases that opportunity. So we head to the 7th. Foxborough down by a whole lot. And that's actually, it's over. It's right there. That's the 15-run rule. See you, Danny. Yeah. Almost forgot about that. I don't see too many of those. That's why.
Well, we'll wrap it up with just leaving you with the thought that we're not kidding about how great yesterday's game was.
Right.
And we will be at the tournament, and we will show up to play. This was a tough matchup today. Good luck to Mansfield, to be honest. In the Super 8, and they showed us why they got a chance to go to the Super 8.
They're a complete package.
Yep.
You know, and do wish them luck. But again, our kids, we've won 3 out of 5. This in the North Attleboro game, 2 butt whoopings. But you're talking about 2 premier teams.
Yeah.
You know, both of them with leading their division in the Hawk.
Right.
So we're just not there yet. But you're right, Mark. I think we'll do well with our tournament opportunity and just hope for the best.
Yep. Great doing this with you, Doug. Thanks a lot.
You bet, pal.
I guess that's us signing off. Have a great day.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys.